Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. My name's Sonia Javette. It is Friday, October the 15th, 2021. I cannot believe we have made it this far past the pandemics through a snowstorm here. But today, my special guest is Mr. Sage Suede. What a groovy name. We're going to ask questions about that. Sage is a solo musician in Austin, Texas. He produced all his music and writes lyrics in several languages. Oh, we got questions. Oftentimes, Sage Suede can be found creating hip-hop mixes that fuse pop, alternative EDM, Bally Funk, that's new, and reggaeton. His premiere EP, Electro Poppy, was released in 2019, featuring alternative soulful vocals with a mix of electro, pop, and reggaeton. On June 26, 2020, Sage Suede released his debut, Thick Juicy Bass, to critical acclaim. On TJB, he raps seductively in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Wow, this brother. Welcome, Sage. The crowd goes, rah,
rah. Sonia, it's nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. So first off, the name. How did you come up with that? Because Sage is one of those things that I use in my house to get rid of evil energy. And suede is something I really like, as far like my seats are suede. So explain this beautiful name.
It is kind of a mix of those two things. Like, so I have a lot of interests, and two of those interests are like fashion and like magic and stuff. So Sage is more like, like a spiritual leader, and it is, literally like a herb too. I also love herbal medicine. And suede is more like, it's like rough, but it's also soft, which is more of like a descriptor of kind of like the style that I go for, like vocally, and the way that I like make my own mixes. So sometimes they're, a little rough around the edges, but it's like organic and it's real. So
love it. Let's dive into some of these wonderful questions, shall we? If you didn't have to sleep, what would you do with your extra time?
I feel like I might do something with design, maybe like paint or something. I've done a little bit of painting, but I don't usually spend too much time on it. But I guess if I had like 8 extra hours a day, that might get me painting. Yeah.
What kind of paint? What kind of medium are you using?
So a lot of stuff I've done is with like acrylics. I really like neon paints. So there have been some times I've painted under black light with neons. Ooh. It's interesting. And then when you turn like the regular light on, you're like, oh, this is like all like green and gray. But it looks really cool under black light because you can see all the layers.
I hadn't thought about that. That would be fun. Is there a special brand for that type of paint?
Oh, they're just regular acrylic paints. They're just in like neon colors so that they pop when they're in the black light.
I got you. Okay. I also paint, but I never thought about using neon colors. So that's brilliant. Or I need a black light. That'll help.
I used to have a black light in my dorm room in college, like in the bathroom, which was a little bit gross because you could kind of see like the bacteria.
Okay.
I mostly just had it because we like hang out in there and like smoke or whatever. So you could like see the clouds in the black light.
Right on.
And Alice in Wonderland posters everywhere. So
Alice in Wonderland? Oh, trippy.
It was pretty cool. I think I ended up changing out the lights eventually, though, just because the bacteria is kind of gross to look at.
Smart young man. Are you reading anything in particular towards your music career at this time?
I'm not reading any books about music. I've been rereading the Tao Te Ching. It's like a Taoist book. It's kind of like a more generalized version of it's like a spirituality, but it's like written philosophically, so you have to like think about the way that it's stated because it's poetic and it's very vague. So it's a really good book to reread because it does have like good morality and like principles to it. But when you first read it, you really don't pick up very much because it doesn't make that much sense.
Is it
So it's a
kind of
good
like
book.
reading a bunch of haikus going, what?
Yeah, basically. A lot of them are written like that too.
And you speak how many languages?
I speak a few. I'm like fluent in Portuguese and German. I'm intermediate in Spanish. I could still write in Spanish, like write songs in Spanish. Some are more Spanglish too. I also have some like new Spanglish songs that are coming out. Um, and I speak like basic French. I've written like one song in French. Um, but that was actually just somebody that was trying to hit on me on Twitter, and I just took the words they were saying and I put them in a song because it sounded cute. I was like, this would not sound hot in English, but it sounds hot in French.
Like, did you look it up before you did that?
Yeah, I could understand what they're saying, and it was kind of like, I don't know, it'd be a little bit too flirtatious. I feel like in English it would be like kind of off-putting, like somebody's hitting on you too hard. But in French, it's like a little bit more refined sounding.
Nice. French is one of those languages I absolutely love. I can speak a little bit of Spanish, but Portuguese now. What got you there? How did you get to there to speaking? Were you raised in Portugal?
So I actually, in elementary school, like a lot of kids in Austin area, Texas and stuff, I learned some Spanish. Like my mom was one of my Spanish teachers because she grew up and she was in a military family. So she was on a military base in Panama for a while, and that's where she learned Spanish. So I knew a little bit of Spanish, and then I went to college and I learned Portuguese in college, and I picked it up really fast. I didn't like think I could do it, but like after less than a year, I like spent like a month in Brazil and I was like fluent. I was like, oh, this isn't so hard.
Well, a
um,
month in Brazil will do it for you. How about that?
yeah, it was fun.
Look forward to travel. Okay, say some do a sentence in Portuguese talking about music. I don't know what something.
A gente fala muito sobre música. It's just like people talk a lot about music. I don't know.
That's
Something
good.
casual.
How do you say hello in Portuguese?
Just usually like oi or hola.
Really? So it's a little bit of Spanish in the translation or the wording, the verbiage in Portuguese.
Yeah, usually people that speak Spanish will understand it or pick up parts of it. Because a lot of the words are only like a letter or two off,
Mhm.
or it's like the way they're pronounced. So they're usually pretty close. Like when I was in Brazil, I think there was like one time I ran into somebody that was from like another country in Latin America, so they only spoke Spanish, and they were able to like kind of talk with somebody that only spoke Portuguese.
I I commend you for speaking different languages and performing, singing in different languages. Excellent. To help to make the world go round, go round. No. Let's
Thanks.
talk about your your album, the thick thick juicy bass. I love. You guys have to see the cover of the album. It is adorable. You remind me of like some little kid going, "Look what I can do."
I got the Sonic cuff and all that.
Look what I can do. I love it. How did you come up with the title? And what is is that the name of the song on there, Thick Juicy Bass? Or is that one of the songs, I mean?
So that's actually not a song on the album, but it's the title. I really like bass heavy mixes, so I was definitely really influenced by that when I was writing that album. Lyrically, some of the songs are about that a little bit. Mostly it's just that it's thematically a very bass heavy album. So it's in different styles, like the genre changes throughout. It starts out as more like a hip hop EDM fusion, and then near the end, it's got more of that like baile funky and reggaeton on some of the tracks. So it varies a lot in like the style, but overall, it's very bass heavy throughout.
So did you produce it like with Ableton or Logic or Pro Tools? What did you use to create with?
So I use Ableton.
That one's new to me, so I'm still not familiar with it. I know it's pretty. I'm like, I don't understand yet. Haven't dove off into it. I tried Pro Tools. Pro Tools was too much for me, but I'm
That one's
loving
hard to pick
Logic.
up too. Like Pro Tools has so much to do that you like you don't know where to start. Like I just used it at the library. I don't actually have Pro Tools because it's expensive. Um, but Ableton, I like. One of the things I like about it is that you can pitch like all your samples, like up or down octaves, and or like a half step or whatever. So you can get them in the right key. And some of my writing, I like to, really change like the pitches key and the octaves of it and stuff. So it'll sometimes make it sound a little warbled, but I also think that's cool too. So
Were you a musician as a young child? Did you get influenced by music from family members? Is what I want to say.
yeah, I've been a musician my entire life, so I was always doing like different kinds of musical things. And as far as like my pursuit, like professionally or like as a musician on my own, that's something that I started a long time ago too, like learning to be a poet. And Ableton I didn't start till middle school, but I've just done it on my own this whole time and gotten to where I'm at.
I'm sorry, middle school. I went, okay, so in middle school, that's brilliant. Um, what have you found that is the most has had been or is the most difficult about learning how to use the DAWs?
There are a lot of things. There are some things I feel like I don't fully comprehend yet. Um, One of them is like busing. I haven't really used buses much. I know that can be a good tool for compressing and, cleaning up the mix and everything.
Hmm.
Um, Vocals is always a thing just because it's all over the place as far as like the way you do it, the creativity and all your options with it. I've definitely like tried a lot of different vocal things that I really like. I really like vocal doubling and like reverbs and all that stuff. And I feel like I could always use more vocal doubles kind of thing. Like, even just like those shout outs and like rap songs and stuff, or they're just like, yeah, or like whatever in the background. Um, Sometimes I feel like even just having more of that in a song is like really good for the overall vibe.
Right on, right on. Vocal doubling, you mean octave doubling or backup vocals?
It's kind of more like the backup vocal style. So I've experimented with it in different ways. So on my first album, Thick Juicy Bass, it was more like I was using like a reverb. I was resampling that reverb, and then I would have my layer on top of it. So I only really had like one layer of vocals, but it was fully comped, and then I had like the reverb as like the echo or whatever. And then the newer one I'm doing, I was trying to use like a newer style, which is more like the doubling of the vocals. So I have multiple takes that, they're all comped together, but it's like two main ones. And then those, they like echo off of each other. So it gives it more body to the sound of the voice. And I think it sounds really cool. I really wanted to do it. So on my last album that I just released in July called Fooling Around, I was working on that a lot, and I have a producer that he polishes up the final mix. So I'll do all like the pre stuff, like I arrange all the beats and everything, and I'll try to get as good as I can. But I've realized that I'm not perfect at production because there's so many nuances and so many little things I'm not great at yet.
And
Um,
there's so much to learn. There's so
yeah.
much. Like, click this button. What button? Where? How do I find a button?
So he makes it a lot better. On my last album, I was really pleased with the way he improved it too, because I was doing my own vocal masking, or I mean doubling, like trying to get it together to the way I wanted it to sound, and then I ended up just sending him like a few example records that I really liked. The two that I picked were like Stankonia by Outkast and Gwen Stefani's Love Angel Music Baby.
That's fun.
Yeah, those two have really good vocals. So he had a good idea of like where to put them in the mix and stuff. And even then, they had a lot more vocals than me on some of those songs. Like a lot of Gwen Stefani songs, she has a ton of vocals because they just do so many takes and stuff. So maybe I could do a few more, get a little bit more like that. But I do really like how it's got that like echoey, full bodied effect now that it's masked better.
It mastering is worth the money. All you people out there, it is worth the money if you can get you a good master person to master your mix. It's fun, but it's also fun to learn how to do so your own. When I get through with my last 6 hours of school, that is something I'm going to dive more into, is being able to master my own music mixes. I have a bunch of songs in the can that I just went blah 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 blah. I'll fix it later, and I haven't released it because I'm like, it's not ready. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
I could definitely relate to that.
You're like, no, hide it. Don't show it yet. Okay. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
I used to think I'd want to like hear other people's thoughts, like telekinesis. And I feel like other people might be too annoying. I might prefer invisibility.
That would be fun.
I can get away.
Yeah. Me and somebody else's thoughts in my head? No, thank you. Not with the music and somebody else's thoughts. That would be overwhelming. Wow. Okay, so if you got to be invisible, where's the first place you'd go?
I don't know. That's a hard one. It'd be pretty cool if you could be invisible and just like go into like every VIP lounge you can find. Just kind of like cruise up, skip the line, go to any movie without paying a ticket, all that kind of thing.
Fair. Do you have any pets? Do you have fur babies?
I have 2 cats. They're over here on their cat tree.
Oh, that's a cat apartment. What?
Yeah, I just got it. They had this litter box that was kind of expensive. And when I got the refund, they refunded it to like an Amazon card. So I had to buy stuff with it. So like half the cost of the litter box was this like big tower for them.
That's cool.
So they're happy about it.
What kind of cats? Boy, girl, 6 toes, 9 toes? I don't know. What kind of cat?
They're both brothers. So they're from the same litter. I only wanted 1 cat originally, but they're so sweet. I like had to get them anyway. I could show you. They're over here sleeping. That's Nolan.
What do you want?
And then Ryan's over here in the hall.
Like, what do you want? Oh, whoa. How did you get in there, kitty cat?
They're little Garfield cats.
Wow. That is something that amazes me about cats. They like constrict or whatever magic that they do to get in the tiniest places and spin around in that tiny place. I'm like, how did you do that?
Have you ever seen the like there's like Twitters and stuff for like cats or water is what they're called because of the way that they fit in the shape. They're like, oh, cats or water is like, what's it called?
That's a song right there.
That would be an interesting song too. Yeah.
I'm that weirdo. If you say words to me, I'm like, ooh, that's a song. Or if it strikes and I'm like, that's a song of some sort. Okay, so before you perform, do you like to eat food? And if you do like to eat food, what do you like to eat?
Sometimes I eat. I don't drink or like do anything like mind altering before a show. I like to be completely sober because I want to give the best performance I can give. If I do have a drink, I won't have more than 1. So
yeah.
I try to avoid dairy just because that's not great for singers.
Yeah, no, it causes horrible phlegm. Horrible phlegm. For all you who don't know, that milk coats your vocal cords and you're just going most of the time. So yeah.
But I'll do that before like a photo shoot. I'll eat like a whole pizza, just like
yum. But you're not singing for the photo shoot, so yeah. That's me. Ooh, that's a cool question. What's one of your favorite smells?
I like a lot of smells. Probably coffee would be one of my top. I feel like there should be more coffee colognes and like room sprays.
Oh wow. You could just carry some coffee beans with you everywhere and just
I feel like it worked pretty well. Like if you're trying to meet somebody and they're like, oh, they smell like coffee, like I feel like that could work with a lot of people.
As a former barista, I can tell you, no. No. That coffee smell after 8 hours of being there is like, oh, the funk. The funk of it.
I used to work at like Subway, and that sandwich smell was like, you like leave and you're like, oh, I reek of sandwiches. Like
it's like I smell like fast food. That's funny. What job would you be terrible at?
That's a hard one. I'm not like the best with like spatial reasoning,
Mm.
so I don't know. I don't like sales jobs very much. That's one thing, and then I'm not great at drawing, so like life drawing would be really bad too. Because I try to draw somebody, and then they would just be like, "Oh, that doesn't even look like me."
I can draw a circle and a stick. That's what I can draw. I can draw music notes. That's the best I can do. Let's see. For me, I don't like driving. I know everybody's like, "Woo, driving." I don't like driving. I would not be good at driving.
I just like the privacy, so I feel like I could relate to like, getting to be like alone in a car as opposed to like having to drive people or something.
Yes, I can see that. Which is weird because I want to tour, and I know that a lot of the touring part is going to be like having to drive, and I'm like, I gotta find somebody to drive with me. Maybe I could teach my dog to drive.
I have
She
two
could
cats, they could take turns.
be one on the wheel and one at your feet. All right, so let's give this. I'm gonna give your. All right, y'all. This is my first time to try this. Okay, so I'm gonna play his video from YouTube, and keep your fingers crossed that it works. So I'm gonna pull us both off, Sage, and play the video, or maybe I can just play the video. Sharing, sharing, sharing. This is Sage Suede. That's the one. Here we go. Swing. And let's start it with a full screen. No, we don't. Oh, look at there. I didn't know we could do that. Do this. There you go. Okay, so it is not working, but at least we gave it a whirl. So the imagery alone is quite beautiful on this video. How did you come about creating the video?
So I worked with Neuroplastic Studios on the graphics for that one. They're in Canada. I met one of their designers on Instagram. And I really like their style. They're good to work with. Some of the videos I did with them, I actually edited like the arrangement and the clips and stuff, like the song Slap and Bass Harder. That one I did a lot more arrangement, but they did most of the work on it. Um, and
It's
yeah,
a beautiful video. It reminds me greatly of Second Life as a kid, or as a kid in my past. Whoa,
and those videos were also in a art exhibition at the Gallery ATX.
nice. Running the Gallery TX is what?
So they're in an exhibition at the Gallery ATX. They're like a local art museum.
Congratulations. That's a big coup, man. I don't have videos in there. That's a good coup. Sage does have a lot more videos on his YouTube channel and his website, so definitely go check it out. I did put it into the chat, Austin, Texas, Austin Musicians Television, and I can put it in back on the screen. Let me see. Bing. And there's a comment. Let's see. Vincent Michael Pina says, "Love you, Sage Suede." I'm guessing that person is watching you from the SB group, Soundbed Productions group.
Yeah, he's one of my biggest fans.
Hey, Vincent, do you have more
Hey.
questions for Sage? That's a great. Fans are awesome. We love them. Let me click this right here. Okay, so let's get back to some more questions. I try not to ask the negative questions because there's no good for that.
I think one of my cats is probably about to jump in front of me too, so don't be surprised if he's like coming in and out of the screen.
No worries. What inspires you to create? Meaning, does music come to you in a single flash and you go, oh, I got to do this, or does it come to you in a melody or a word? How do you get inspired by your music?
I usually start more lyrically. So a lot of times I'll just like, be doing something else, and then I'll just like hear something in my head, like lyrically that I really like, and then I'll write that down, and then I'll do the other lyrics. So usually that's the chorus of a song. Will just kind of come to me, and then I'll write that down. Like the last song, Sizzle D Sipper, like that's something I just kind of like thought of, and then I like went from there.
It's a fun tongue run, sizzly sizzle.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a sizzler, like something like interesting, like conversation starter.
Let's talk about how is it in your world? And I'm a let's see, a woman of color, a person of color, LGBTQIA, and something else I forgot. I said them all. So how is it with the music industry for you? Yeah, go with that.
I try to think of where to start because there's so many things that can be said that are very problematic about it. One of the first things is probably like the age fixation is like unhealthy. It's also like a big downside for people to not be able to hear artists when they're really in their prime and they've been, doing it for years, and they're putting out their best stuff. We always hear people, for the most part, the people that get Grammy Awards and that the music industry is focused on tend to be much younger. They're not in their prime. Often they're not writing anything, or they're getting everything produced for them. And that's a huge downside for everyone, to miss out on like all these artists that are really making like great stuff all the time. And like to that point, like for example, I saw like a demo submission recently at a major label, and they're only taking people 16 to 19 years old.
Wasn't that American Idol also or something? Like I've tried out for all of those things, and one of them was like, oh, the age cap is 27. I was like, what?
Yeah, American Idol used to be like 24 or something, but they increased it to 27, 28 or something like that. I think in a recent season. But yeah, it was a different one. It was like a major label. They were like, we're only looking at people 16 to 19. And I don't know. I just think that's problematic for a lot of reasons. But that's not one of the only things that's problematic.
You miss out on the grown folks' music because we have ears, like I said, 7 billion ears or something on the planet. There's ears for all styles of all types of music. So just narrowing it down to the no offense to the young ones, and that's all we ever hear. Grown folks don't want to hear that all the time. We want some grown folks music.
I know I do. It's definitely a disappointment for me because I like a lot of indie artists and I like a lot of that stuff that, you know, it is genuine in the writing process, and they have their own style and everything because they're really developing themselves. Whereas like there's a lot of stuff that gets pushed to us through the mainstream that it's very formulaic. It just sounds like, you know, they just kind of threw it out there and did all the most basic stuff they could do, the same drum beat that's in every song. You know, it's disappointing to me.
I can concur with that. I think like in the last, I want to say the last 8 years, for some reason, all the vocals on the males has gone higher and higher and
True,
higher.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, where is the where's the low end? Where's the ones that have had their junk drop? Where's that? I, no offense to anyone who has that high vocal range, but sometimes you want to hear some low end. So yeah, it's not I don't think it's fair that we only show off one little pocket of people. For me, like especially in this town, there's more than one singer songwriter who's black who plays guitar in this town, but this town doesn't want to see more than one. They only want to see one because that's all that's being presented. And I'm like, there's a lot more of us out here who play instruments and sing and are female and of color. Meh.
Yeah, and we were talking in the lobby a few minutes ago about how like the industry, it seems like there's like more scams than there are real opportunities.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And it's ridiculous because like none of the doors are open at all. They used to be open. You used to be able to actually send stuff to the major labels. Now they don't take anything.
No.
Like I try to network with them. I have met, you know, more than a few people that are at all these different labels and stuff, but it's like so frustrating, you know.
That's a great question. Are you trying to get signed, or do you want to be? Or are you wanting to be signed?
I'd be open to it as long as it's a good deal. But I honestly get more scams than anything. I have a scam in my email right now. I had somebody that they pretended to be a label, and then they pretended to kill off their persona, and then they sent me like a fake lawyer statement that their persona was dead, and then they sent me a fake bereaved parent thing that they were all angry that I like messaged them or whatever. It's so stupid.
That is so much work.
I
Wow.
know. It was so detailed. It was crazy. I was like, I can't believe someone is like this obsessed, or like, I don't even know. And the other thing is like the one I just got, like I posted like yesterday or the day before on Twitter that I'd like to find, you know, like a label or whatever. I said like, oh, who's like open for submissions? And so then I started getting this spam about like labels in my email, and somebody's like pretending to be RCA Records. And I know it's not them because it's not their real email address. It is weird. And they're like, pay me and then I'll fly you out and like send you a contract. I'm like, I don't even think any of that's gonna happen. But if I did fly out, you're probably trying to abduct me. So
Good call on that. That's a backup for that, for about the email. That's a good way to tell whether someone is legit or not. This is a lesson I learned last year. Got one of those same emails from like some Sony record pretending to be wannabe person. And when you look at the emails that you receive, their email should say whatever the company is that they're working for. It shouldn't be Gmail. It shouldn't be Yahoo. It should be Bob at Sony Records or Ruthie at Capitol Records, whatever it is. It should say the name of the company in the email and not just Gmail. This is what I learned after going, oh, that sounds great. That sounds fabulous. And I went, this don't feel right. What? You want me to pay you? And oh my gosh. Do not, y'all, learn this lesson. Do not have somebody say, if you pay me, I will do this for you. Nope. Not when it comes to this. I mean, mixing and mastering, that's different. But for I can make you successful, no.
And I tried to work with somebody at Sony too, and he turned out to be awful. Like, and he actually was at Sony. He's like with their songwriter association, but he just sent me this like boilerplated backing track that sounded so cheesy and so bad, and I did not like it at all. And I tried to work with it anyway, And then he was, just like giving me a bunch of like flack and stuff. I ended up like telling him off because I was like, "What, you like sending me this terrible backing track, and then you're trying to charge me like $3,000 to buy it so that I'd be
That's
able to
a
share it?" And I'm like, "You told me I'd be able to use this song, and now you're just like wasting my money or wasting my time." And he ended up wasting a lot of my time. He didn't help me at all. And he actually
wow.
is a Sony. So
But
I
you
really
learned
like don't
something.
have a great impression of labels.
You learned something. You learned, yeah, that's what you learned.
Because they'll
Not
all like try to get you. So even if they don't do anything for you, they'll just be like, "Oh, I'm consulting. Like I'm helping you as a consultant, but you're not really helping me if you don't help me at all."
correct.
So yeah, I mean, I hope that someday there is actually some capability to like work with these people, but it really feels like it's like constantly just slam doors, and they don't even take submissions. So how are we supposed to like grow musically as a culture? Like nobody even gets to see that stuff. It's just like, here's the youngest person I found who
That
doesn't write anything, or maybe they write something but they have, they're the most spoiled person on the planet. It's like, why is that all that gets served up?
yep. In my world, why is it always the negative R&B, hip hop, uh, ghetto gangster rap music? It's like, I am not rap. I don't do that. I can, but I don't. But that seems to be the only persona that's being showed, is the talk down about women, destroy the community stuff. That doesn't appeal to me. I'm not that. It will never be that. So I can talk about this all day long. Okay, so are you? Let's flip that channel a little bit. Are you with BMI or Ascap?
I actually am with BMI.
Good.
I haven't sent them much, but I'm like, I guess like loosely affiliated. I've like done the paperwork, so.
Do you know that they're here in Austin now?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Definitely get yourself situated with that, so that when you do start going out and performing, that what do they call it?
Performance royalties.
That, and when you perform, you can send them your performance list. I don't want to say the wrong thing here. Uh, you get money back for when you send them your set list. There you go, and your performance dates from BMI. It also was with ASCAP, but ASCAP never did any sort of education knowledge for me to learn that part. My puppy is now awake and making strange sounds. So if you see me, it's because my dog is awake. um, yeah, I have been with BMI for starting January this year, so I'm learning about what they are advantageously useful for. But that's one of them. You get some funds back for telling them that you perform. Okay, question. What gets you fired up? That's a fun question.
I really like art. A lot of different kinds of art. I definitely enjoy stuff that like is like visually or like audioly like interesting. And I like, experimentation and stuff that it's like different and it's original. That's why I'm like really dissatisfied with a lot of that mainstream stuff that's very formulaic, so.
And copycat and overused is what I'm going to stick with. So next time you do some more stuff like this, put some art in the background of your art in the back. That'd be fat. I can't see mine very well, but I've got some over here in the corner. But this is not about me. These questions, these are my new questions, so you're getting them. If you were put into solitary confinement for 6 months, what would you do to stay sane?
So that one, I feel like I'd probably sing. Personally, I did kind of want to say I don't think solitary is very humane. And a lot of the times, they put like trans people in solitary confinement. Oftentimes it is a form of discrimination in the way that they use it. Because they'll put people in solitary and they'll say it's for their own good, but they're still going insane in there,
Truth.
So even though I might protect them on the prison yard, it's still kind of like a form of discriminatory abuse a lot. I know that's not really like what the question was, but I was
No,
thinking that when I read it.
that's a great response. That's something I had not thought about.
I've definitely read about it a lot with trans people being a thing.
Do you have hobbies or interests outside of music besides art?
I play video games too.
What kind?
There's some horror games. I like racing games. RPGs too. I have some of the Final Fantasy games.
Then you would love Second Life. You would enjoy it. It's fun.
I haven't wanted to try it. I've heard a lot about it.
The most difficult part, I don't know how it's been this year, but the most difficult part of it is learning to control the avatar and to design the avatar, because you have to go and search for the avatar content that you can have to purchase and all that fun stuff. But I started playing in Second Life in 2010, I think, and up until last year was very actively in it. Great source of it got me to this point where I'm totally comfortable live streaming and broadcasting 100%. It's me being in public where I go, ooh, people. People. Let's see. Let's talk about what you got coming musically. All right.
So today I was kind of like thrown at a loop with my other computer, my old computer, not turning on. But I have 14 demos in progress. So I am really hoping to release those like early next year or middle next year. I'm just going to have to find a way to get them off that laptop. The Windows is just horrible, and the update, I'm pretty sure it's the update that caused it because it's incompatible with the computer.
That's no fun.
It's tried to do the update before and then it reversed it fully. So it's just been constantly trying to redo it since then because it's like not, good enough to not do that. So I'm gonna have to pull it off this like computer that's in like a blank state screen where I can't see anything. So
maybe take it to Best Buy and
it still turns on, so I think it should be doable. Yeah.
See if they can take the information and dump it down or dump it out or whatever, transfer it out. What you doing? What? You want to don't bite. Come here. Boy. Oh. This is Miss Lucy. Say hi. Why? Okay, what? What's happening? What do you want to tell me? No kisses in the face. I don't like it. Not in my face. Not in my face. Not in my face. She is 8 months old. This is my first animal I've ever had. And it's quite unique. What is going on? No, quit chewing on my jewelry. Say again?
She likes your necklace.
She likes anything that's on me apparently right now. I don't know why. Let's ask. Thank you, puppy breath. Alexa, how much time do we have on the timer for the puppy potty?
You don't have a puppy potty timer.
Alexa, how much time do we have on the timer?
You have 8 minutes and 50 seconds left on the 2-hour timer.
So she knows it's almost potty time. So we're doing good. Okay, baby. We'll be going outside in a minute. Let's ask some more questions. Okay, so how many instruments can you play?
So as a kid, I played drums. I don't know if I'd say I could play that now.
Sure you could. If you had a kid, you'd go clap, clap, clap.
And also play some keyboards. Do a little bit of like jazz keyboard, like improvising. Guitar, clarinet, bass clarinet. So like 5. And then I think that's mostly it for instruments. There might be 1 or 2 more. I'm forgetting.
Hold on. Okay. I played clarinet. Now, a bass clarinet is like almost the length of a bassoon, right?
Yeah, it's a lot like bassoon. It's pretty similar. They sit next to each other and everything.
Wow. Do you still have one?
I don't have one. They were all rentals, so I never actually bought one. But I like playing it. I feel like I'm definitely really aligned with bass. That's one of the reasons I played like a bass instrument for a few years, and that's one of the reasons I use so much bass in my my music that I make now. So
that's did you say you have a bass? Do you play bass?
Oh, I don't have a bass guitar, but just like the bass samples and stuff that I use in my electronic stuff.
What's
I have it all up
who's
really
your
high.
who's your favorite bass player? Favorites.
Um,
Let's go favorites.
that's a hard one. Maybe George Turner.
Nice.
I'm just thinking of that song Bossy.
Have you heard of Victor Wooten?
I haven't heard of him actually.
Oh, yes. I want you to do some research. Go look up Victor Wooten. You'll be going, oh, okay, yeah. That's
I've been
a bass.
wanting to get like an upright bass player too, because I love upright bass also. I
That's
think
a
it sounds really
sexy
cool.
instrument. That's a sexy sound. I don't care what anybody says. That stand-up bass is beautiful. I like it when people like stand and play on it. I'm like, aren't you afraid you're gonna crush it? It's like, no. Miss Lucy, we're gonna go in 15 more minutes. Okay. Thank you for not
Is the
pottying on the
timer
floor.
gonna go off though?
No, I will. I know you have to leave. Oh, my timer. Yes. Let's see. Let's. What is one message you'd like to give to your fans?
Definitely that it's important to be yourself. I feel like it's not easy to do because a lot of people are always judging you and but it's really like your life and ultimately you get to decide for the most part what you do and the kind of person that you want to be. That definitely applies to like your style too when it comes to music and stuff. Um, like we like pursue our own style, even though there's some people that really just want you to sound like copycat pop or whatever.
That's a song.
But really just like having that integrity and working towards what's important to you. Like being yourself is probably the most important thing that I could recommend for people.
That is the absolute truth, 100%. Because there's only one you. There's only one you, period. So nobody else can be you. They can copy you, but they can't be you. So absolutely. I love
And
that.
that's really when we like shine too. It's like when we're really like showing our own strengths and like our inner light.
Absolutely. And what is okay, along that same line, what is the best advice you've been given as a music artist?
I think I don't know if it's like a musical thing necessarily, but I'd say like that old like adage that if you want something done, then do it yourself. Because I've tried to work with people on so many things and been disappointed so many times. But usually when it comes to music and all my personal pursuits, I have to do all of it. So like I direct my videos, I make my songs, I design my album covers. You just have to keep going and you can hire people to do things. Unfortunately, there's too many people that are able to just buy their way the entire way in music and all that. But if you really want something done well, you do it yourself.
Well, I can tell you right now, if you'd like to, I would love to do collaboration. My goal for this year, for 2021, is to do at least 15 other collaborations with other artists. So that would be fun. You can't chew my watch. Stop.
That sounds
So
cool.
that would be fun. Just me playing guitar would be plenty for me. I just want to play with or perform with other artists. So if you're down, I'm down, bro. Let's
Yeah, I'd
see,
be down. I
couple.
work with a keyboard player in LA, so like she just like sends me her samples or she has produced some of the tracks we've done too. So sometimes she sends me like fully produced thing, but usually she'll send me like the keys and then I can incorporate it and everything. I'll send her
Nice.
like a backing thing she can play around to.
Stems was a new word for me in 2020. I was like, when did stems become? I didn't know that was a real thing. 3 artists that you'd like to be the opening act for, or 3 artists that you would like to do the opening for, to be an opening act for.
I mean, I'm open to a lot of, really anybody, I guess. That's cool.
I was gonna say you better narrow that down.
I was thinking maybe like somebody like Bad Bunny or J Balvin would be cool. Just
Bad
because I know
Bunny?
that they seem cool, like they might be somebody I'd be able to hang out with for a little bit before the show or after the show, you know.
Great name, Bad Bunny.
Yeah, he was at the Super Bowl too. They were both at the Super Bowl, but I'm not that basic. I just like them.
Nice. Stop. Why are you attacking me right now? Stop. 8 months old. Okay, so I know that you have. Stop. We're gonna fight. Wait. This is my weapon. Stop. That's right. That's right. The water gun. It's not a water gun. Cause she doesn't recognize her claws are hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Last question, and because I know you have to go. If funny, if you were a musical instrument, what would you be?
I definitely say the bass.
I should have known that.
I think probably like a 808 would be more specifically.
You mean that's a sound though? That's not an instrument, right?
I think it's a Roland. I could check. It's a synth sound. Yeah, the Roland TR-808 is the most popular one usually.
But that's a digital sound, right?
Yeah, it's a sound too, but it's
Okay,
also a
good.
type of synth.
I'm like, what kind of instrument is that? I haven't seen it. I've heard the joke 808s rolling down the blah, 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 blah. Far out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today has been my wonderful special guest, Mr. Sage Suede. If you have any questions and you want to find out more about Sage, you can find him on YouTube. You can find his music on Amazon, on Spotify, on SoundCloud, and what else is it? YouTube? No, I said that.
All the most common ones like Apple and
Apple. That's the one I was missing.
all of them.
Sweet. And his website is here, www.sagesuede.com. I appreciate you being here, my brother, and look forward to seeing you on the grid and watching my dog try to chew the walls. She's talking to me now. And the timer has gone off. Alexa, stop timer. Thank you. Appreciate you. And I hope you have enjoyed being here. I appreciate you. I'm just going to run out the time with some commercials. Right on?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for meeting with me. You can just email me about a collab.
When is your next time that you're going to be out doing something?
You mean like this weekend or?
Sure, if you're performing.
I don't have one planned this weekend, but I think I have one in like 2 weeks.
You want to tell us where?
I'm still working out the details, so I don't want to
Okay.
like reveal it before it's official.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. I think that's good for today. Yeah. For you, unless you have some questions for me that you want to ask, little girl.
I don't think I have any questions right now.
Okay. I appreciate you, brother. I'm going to pull you off here and say thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sage Suede. Cool. All right. This has been Soundbite Productions live on Fridays. Let me play out some commercials here. Boom. All right. So if you want some guitar lessons from me, come check me out. That would be fabulous. Also, if you want to catch me on some of my shows, I do Stage It Fridays at 1 p.m. Central, Mondays and Fridays. And let's see, I'll be playing at the Aloft Hotel tomorrow, Northwest. That's my Saturday gigs. And if you have any other questions, let me know. And if you want to be on my show, talk to me. Send me an email. It is contact@soundbiteproduction.com. Let me know. Send me your 70-word bio and links to your music, and come be on Austin Music Television. Come hang out with the folks here, good people. Let me see what else I can do. Also, if you don't know, it is Health Alliance Austin Musician enrollment time. It is time to enroll in yourself for insurance. So check it out if you're here in Austin, Texas. Health Alliance for Austin Musicians. That's www.myham.org. Go there and get set up for some insurance. The other one is, it's also time for Music Cares. Music Cares is a part of the Grammys, and it helps support musicians in times of need, and it is a good organization to be a part of. Let's see, it is also voter registration time. If you're not registered to vote and you want to become a registered voter, let me see if I can pull up this link. Voter. Women's Voters League is available also. There we go, Women's Voter League guide. So, okay, so the Women's Voter League is something you can sign up to get voted, so that you can vote and become a voter registrar person. You could register people to vote. And if you are in Austin, Texas, and you're a musician, please join the Austin, Texas Musicians Group so that you can stay up to date with what's going on in the music industry. Okay, let's see. Let me put that link in here as well. Women's League of Voters, so that you can go and vote. Copy. Well, that works too. Women's League of Voters, you can do that. And let me run this last video. And we're going to say thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you greatly. I like how it changed my name. Some new technology here. We can do it. Yeah. Okay. Let's play.
that's what my actions prove.
Bubba's got his knee in your neck.
It's a free country, but me not you.
Karen's in heaven making calls.
When will I learn that's what my actions prove? What I read keeps us divided. Like I'm at a party where I wasn't invited. I'm on the outside when I wanna belong, but I seem to wish that things go wrong for folks that disagree with me. I just don't have the energy to let you be you
Look her here,
and me be me.
look her here.
Cause when you are you
Got
threaten
my
me.
feet up on the desk. Bubba's got his knee in your
Gonna
chest.
keep a free country, but me not you.
Got my feet up on the desk. Bubba's got his knee in